In the vast, sun-drenched plains of East Africa, one of nature's most breathtaking dramas unfolds each year. This is the Great Migration, a relentless circular journey undertaken by nearly 2 million animals. The sheer scale of this event is difficult to comprehend. Imagine a moving river of life composed of over 1 million wildebeests, hundreds of thousands of zebras and, well, countless gazelles stretching from one horizon to the other. Their hooves drum a constant rhythm upon the earth, a sound that echoes through the savannah and announces their unstoppable advance. This is not a casual stroll. It is a pilgrimage for survival, a spectacle of instinct and endurance that has played out for millennia. The air itself seems to vibrate with the energy of this colossal movement. Dust clouds, kicked up by millions of hooves, rise into the sky like great plumes of smoke visible for miles around. The chorus of sounds is overwhelming, the low, grunting calls of the wildebeest, a constant, almost mournful hum that forms the soundtrack to their journey, punctuated by the high-pitched barks of the zebras. This is a procession driven not by a leader but by a collective ancient wisdom. It is a testament to the powerful forces of nature, a living, breathing testament to the eternal cycles of life, death, and renewal on the African continent. This incredible journey covers an astonishing distance of over 1,500 kilometers, a looping odyssey that spans 2 countries and some of the most iconic landscapes on Earth. The animals are not wandering aimlessly. Their path is dictated by the rains and the promise of fresh green grass. They follow a timeless map etched into their very being, a map that guides them from the southern plains of Tanzania's Serengeti National Park, northwards to the lush grasslands of Kenya's Masai Mara National Reserve, and back again. It is a cycle without a true beginning or end, a continuous flow of life across the savannah. To witness the Great Migration is to witness the raw, untamed power of the natural world in its purest form. It is more than just observing animals. It is about feeling the pulse of an ancient rhythm that has shaped this land and its inhabitants for countless generations. The sheer number of creatures moving as one is a humbling sight, a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all living things and the profound struggles they endure simply to survive. This is not just a migration, it is one of the most magnificent wildlife spectacles our planet has to offer, a true wonder of the natural world. The epic migration of the great herds is not merely a spectacle. It's a vital response to the relentless demands of survival in one of the world's most challenging environments. Every year, over 1 million wildebeest, accompanied by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, embark on this journey, compelled by a complex web of ecological, climatic, and biological forces. At the heart of this movement lies the search for sustenance. The East African savanna is a land of extremes, where rainfall is unpredictable and resources are fleeting. The herds must constantly seek out fresh grazing and reliable water sources, as the grasslands can quickly transform from lush to barren. The timing and direction of the migration are dictated by the seasonal rains. These rains are the lifeblood of the plains, triggering the growth of new grass and filling water holes. The herds are finely attuned to the arrival of these rains, often sensing distant storms and moving in anticipation of the renewal they bring. When the rains fail to arrive or the grass is exhausted, the land becomes inhospitable. Water holes shrink to muddy puddles, and the earth cracks under the relentless sun. In these moments, the herds face a stark choice: remain and risk starvation, or move onward in search of greener pastures. The promise of distant rain-soaked grasslands is a powerful lure. The animals are driven by an instinctive knowledge passed down through generations, guiding them toward areas where the land is reborn after the rains. The journey begins in the southern Serengeti, where from December to March, the plains are transformed by the short rains into a sea of green. Here the grass is rich in nutrients, providing the perfect conditions for the herds to feed and regain their strength. This abundance coincides with the calving season. The nutrient-rich grass supports the birth and rapid growth of hundreds of thousands of calves, ensuring the next generation is strong enough to face the challenges ahead. Yet this period of plenty is short-lived. As the sun climbs higher and the dry season approaches, the once verdant plains begin to wither. The grass turns brittle and yellow, and the landscape is stripped of its vitality. The herds quickly consume what remains, leaving behind bare earth and stubble. The scarcity of food and water intensifies, and the pressure to move becomes overwhelming. This is the moment when instinct takes over. The herds gather, forming long columns that stretch to the horizon, and begin their arduous trek northward, driven by hunger, thirst, and the promise of renewal. The decision to move is not taken lightly. Each step is a calculated risk, as the journey is fraught with peril. Remaining in one place would mean certain death from starvation or dehydration, but the migration itself is a gauntlet of hazards: exhaustion, injury, and the ever-present threat of predators. The herds must cross swollen rivers teeming with crocodiles, navigate rocky outcrops, and traverse open plains where lions and other predators lie in wait. Each obstacle tests their endurance and unity, but the reward is immense. The Masai Mara, rejuvenated by the long rains, offers a bounty of fresh grass and water. For those that survive the journey, it is a sanctuary where they can rest and recover. This cyclical movement is crucial for the ecosystem. By leaving areas to recover, the herds prevent overgrazing, allowing grasses to regrow and soil to retain its fertility. This natural rotation sustains the delicate balance of the Serengeti. The migration is also a response to the ever-changing African climate. Droughts, floods, and shifting weather patterns force the herds to adapt, demonstrating remarkable resilience and flexibility in the face of uncertainty. Over thousands of years, this strategy has evolved as the ultimate solution to the challenge of limited resources in a vast, unpredictable wilderness. The herds have become expert navigators, reading subtle cues in the environment to guide their way. Wildebeests, zebras, and gazelles move together, each species playing a unique role in the ecosystem. Their combined movements shape the landscape, disperse seeds, and support countless other forms of life. The Great Migration is a living testament to the power of adaptation, cooperation, and the relentless drive to survive. Against all odds, these animals endure their journey, a breathtaking example of nature's ingenuity and resilience. The journey from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara is a passage through one of the most breathtaking and dynamic landscapes on Earth. Stretching across the heart of East Africa, this corridor links two of the continent's most celebrated wildlife reserves, the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania and the Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya. The Serengeti, whose name comes from the Masai word Siringet, meaning the place where the land runs on forever, is a vast expanse of golden grasslands dotted with acacia trees and punctuated by ancient granite kopjes. These rocky outcrops provide vantage points for predators and shelter for smaller animals, creating a patchwork of habitats across the plains. During the wet season, the Serengeti transforms into a lush nursery. Vast herds of wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle graze side by side, their movements orchestrated by the rhythm of the rains. Calves and foals, only days old, stumble through the grass, learning to run and keep pace with the herd, while predators like lions and cheetahs watch from the shadows, ever alert for opportunity. As the dry season approaches, the herds are compelled northward, drawn by the promise of fresh grazing in the Masai Mara. Their path is blocked by the Mara River, a winding 395-kilometre artery that both sustains and threatens life. Its steep, muddy banks are treacherous, and its waters conceal some of Africa's largest and most formidable crocodiles, lying in wait for the unwary. The river crossing is a crucible of survival. Wildebeest and zebra gather in restless throngs at the water's edge, their instincts battling fear and urgency. The first to leap into the current face a gauntlet of snapping jaws and swirling eddies, while those that hesitate risk being trampled by the surging mass behind them. The air is filled with the sounds of splashing water, desperate calls, and the thunder of hooves. Those that survive the crossing emerge, exhausted but triumphant, onto the fertile plains of the Masai Mara. Here the landscape shifts subtly. Rolling hills and verdant grasslands stretch beneath a vast sky, and the density of wildlife is astonishing. The Mara, though smaller than the Serengeti, is renowned for its abundance. Herds of wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle intermingle with elephants, buffalo, and towering giraffes. The newly arrived herds waste no time, plunging into the tall grasses to replenish their strength. The plains become a living tapestry, with animals feeding, resting, and interacting. Zebras nuzzle each other in greeting, wildebeest calves frolic under the watchful eyes of their elders, and the ever-present threat of predators keeps the herds vigilant. The Mara is a stage for constant drama. Lions stalk through the grass, their tawny coats blending perfectly with the landscape, while cheetahs scan the horizon for isolated prey. Hyenas and jackals trail the herds, ready to seize any opportunity, yet amid this tension moments of peace abound. Herds graze in the golden light, and the calls of birds echo across the plains. The Serengeti and Masai Mara together form a seamless wilderness, a sanctuary that transcends human borders. For the animals, the invisible line between Tanzania and Kenya is meaningless. Their journey is dictated by the search for food and water, not by the boundaries drawn on maps. The freedom to move between these two great reserves is vital for the health of the entire ecosystem. The herds follow ancient trails, their migration a living link to the rhythms of the land, a powerful reminder that in nature unity and survival depend on movement, resilience, and the enduring bonds between landscape and life. Of all the obstacles faced by the migrating herds, none is more dramatic, more fraught with tension, or more perilous than the legendary crossing of the Mara River. This is the ultimate test of survival, the climax of their epic journey, a moment where chaos, instinct, and raw courage collide on the muddy banks. For days, sometimes even weeks, immense herds of wildebeest gather on the southern banks, their numbers swelling into the tens of thousands. The air vibrates with the sound of hooves and anxious grunts, a living tide held back by uncertainty. The animals pace restlessly, their bodies tense, nostrils flaring as they scent the water and the dangers it conceals. The collective anxiety is almost tangible, a pressure that builds with every passing hour. The urge to move forward is overwhelming, driven by hunger and the promise of green pastures beyond. Yet fear holds them back. Fear of the unknown, of the swirling currents, and of the predators lurking beneath the surface. The decision to cross is agonizing. There is no clear leader, no single animal to guide the way. Instead, the herd surges and retreats in waves, each individual waiting for another to make the first move. The lack of leadership creates confusion. Some animals edge forward only to be swept back by the nervous energy of the group. The herd shifts restlessly, moving back and forth along the bank, their indecision mirrored in the swirling dust and the churning water below. Occasionally, a single wildebeest, driven by desperation or boldness, steps into the river only to panic and scramble back, sending a ripple of alarm through the herd. This tense standoff can last for hours, even days, as the animals weigh the risks against their need to move forward. Then, in a sudden electrifying moment, one animal finally commits, plunging into the water with a burst of energy. The spell is broken. Instantly, the rest of the herd surges forward, driven by instinct and the unstoppable momentum of thousands of bodies. The river explodes into chaos as a torrent of wildebeest stampede into the churning water, each animal propelled by the pressure of those behind. The dangers are immediate and overwhelming. The river is deep and fast, its currents swirling with hidden power. The youngest and weakest are especially vulnerable, swept away by the relentless flow or separated from the safety of the herd. Panic spreads quickly. In the crush, some animals are trampled underfoot, lost in the desperate surge for survival. Beneath the surface, another threat waits. Nile crocodiles, ancient, patient, and powerful, have been anticipating this moment all year. Some of these reptiles grow over 5 meters long, their armored bodies perfectly adapted for ambush in the muddy water. With explosive force, they lunge at the struggling wildebeest, jaws snapping shut in a display of primal power. The river becomes a battleground, predator and prey locked in a desperate struggle for life. Yet, despite the odds, the majority of the herd makes it across, battered but alive, driven by the unyielding will to survive. Other species, like the zebra, employ their own strategies. Often they wait and watch, letting the wildebeest test the waters first. Their caution is a calculated risk, using the larger herd as a shield against the crocodiles. For those who survive, the reward is immediate and sweet. The lush, green grasslands of the Masai Mara, a feast after the ordeal. The crossing is a brutal, unforgiving filter, separating the strong from the weak, the lucky from the unlucky. It is a living demonstration of survival of the fittest. This is nature at its most raw and spectacular, a life-and-death drama that defines the very heart of the Great Migration, where every moment is charged with tension, strategy, and the ever-present shadow of danger. The undisputed star of the Great Migration is, without a doubt, the blue wildebeest, also known as the GNU. These remarkable antelopes are instantly recognizable by their robust, boxy bodies, shaggy manes, and distinctive curved horns. Their coats shimmer in the sunlight, a blend of slate grey and blue, perfectly camouflaged against the endless grasslands. Around 1.2 million of these rather odd-looking antelopes form the bulk of the moving mass, surging across the plains in a seemingly endless river of life. Their migration is a spectacle of endurance and instinct driven by the search for fresh grazing and water. With their shaggy manes, curved horns, and, well, disproportionately slender legs, they might appear a bit clumsy, but they are truly endurance athletes of the highest order. Wildebeest can travel up to 1,000 miles in a single migration season, braving rivers, predators, and exhaustion. Their constant low-pitched grunting provides the unmistakable soundtrack to the migration. These vocalizations help keep the herd together and may even warn of approaching danger. Wildebeest possess a remarkable ability to sense rainfall from great distances, almost like an internal compass. This guides their relentless pursuit of fresh grass, which makes up the vast majority of their diet. Their grazing habits help shape the landscape, encouraging new plant growth and supporting countless other species. Travelling alongside the wildebeest are their steadfast companions, the plains zebras. These striking animals are more than just fellow travellers, they are essential partners in survival. Roughly 200,000 zebras join the migration, their bold black and white stripes creating a dazzling contrast against the earthy tones of the wildebeest. Each zebra's stripe pattern is unique, serving as a form of identification and possibly confusing predators. Zebras and wildebeest make excellent travel partners because, interestingly, they do not compete for food. Zebras are equipped with strong front teeth, allowing them to crop the longer, tougher tops of the grasses. As zebras graze, they expose the shorter, more tender shoots that the wildebeest favor. This complementary feeding strategy allows both species to thrive side by side, maximizing the available resources. Zebras are also highly alert, with excellent eyesight and a loud, barking alarm call that warns the entire herd of nearby danger. Their vigilance is crucial, as predators like lions and hyenas often stalk the migrating herds. While smaller in number, various species of gazelle, including Thompson's and Grant's gazelles, also participate in this grand procession. Thompson's gazelles, with their tan coats and bold black side stripes, are among the fastest animals on the savanna. These graceful, nimble creatures often trail behind the main herds, feasting on the new growth and herbs that the larger grazers leave behind. Their selective feeding helps maintain the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Their incredible speed and agility are their primary defenses against predators, allowing them to dart and weave through the savanna with breathtaking elegance. Grant's gazelles, slightly larger and paler, are equally adept at evading danger, often seen bounding in spectacular leaps. The presence of these different species adds another layer of complexity and beauty to this moving ecosystem. Each animal plays a unique role, from shaping the vegetation to providing food for predators, demonstrating how different species can coexist and even benefit from one another's behaviors. Beyond the migrating herds, the savanna is home to a rich diversity of other fascinating creatures. The landscape teems with life, each species adapted to its own niche. Towering giraffes, the gentle giants of the plains, can be seen nibbling on the leaves of acacia trees. Their long necks and prehensile tongues allow them to reach foliage far above the ground, giving them access to food sources unavailable to other herbivores. Giraffes are also vigilant sentinels, their height providing an early warning system for the herds below. Hippos, surprisingly agile and aggressive, crowd the rivers and waterholes. By day, they wallow in the cool water, their massive bodies barely visible beneath the surface. At dusk, they emerge to graze, shaping the riverbanks and creating channels that benefit countless other species. These resident animals, while not part of the long-distance trek, play a crucial role in the ecosystem. Their lives are interwoven with the seasonal ebb and flow of the great herds that pass through their territories, contributing to the dynamic, ever-changing tapestry of the African savanna. Wherever the great herds roam, a silent shadow follows. Predators, masters of patience and precision, move in the wake of the migration, their senses attuned to every tremor in the earth, every shift in the wind. For the carnivores of the Serengeti and Masai Mara, the migration is a time of abundance. The endless columns of wildebeest and zebra are not just a spectacle, they are a moving feast, a rare opportunity for predators to thrive. The presence of so many prey animals transforms the plains into a battleground of wits and instinct. Lions, leopards and cheetahs all stake their claim, each employing unique strategies honed by generations of survival. Lions, the undisputed kings of the savannah, are renowned for their teamwork and cunning. A pride will fan out, using the tall grass as cover, their golden coats blending seamlessly with the landscape. With silent communication, they coordinate their approach, inching closer to the unsuspecting herd. When the moment is right, the pride explodes into action. Some lions drive the herd into confusion, while others lie in wait, ready to intercept any animal that breaks away. Their powerful roars echo across the plains, a chilling reminder of their dominance and the ever-present danger lurking in the grass. In contrast, the cheetah relies on stealth and speed. The Masai Mara is home to a thriving population of these sleek hunters, each one a master of the chase. Built for acceleration, a cheetah can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just a few strides. Every muscle, every sinew is tuned for the explosive pursuit that lasts mere seconds but determines life or death. Unlike the lions, cheetahs hunt by day, relying on their keen eyesight to spot the weak or isolated. They stalk with patience, closing the distance before launching into a breathtaking sprint, often targeting the young or those separated from the herd. The chase is a spectacle of raw athleticism. The cheetah's body becomes a blur, tail whipping for balance, claws gripping the earth, eyes locked on its quarry. For the prey, survival depends on zigzagging, sudden turns, and the hope of outlasting the predator's short burst of speed. But the dangers are not confined to the open plains. As the herds reach the rivers, a new threat emerges, one that lurks beneath the surface. The Mara River is a gauntlet. Wildebeest and zebra gather at the banks, their instincts warning them of the peril that lies ahead. The water is murky, the current swift, and the air thick with tension. Beneath the surface, the Nile crocodile waits. These ancient reptiles are perfectly adapted for ambush, their eyes and nostrils just above the water, bodies hidden and motionless. With patience born of millennia, crocodiles conserve their energy, waiting for the precise moment when the herd plunges into the river. In an instant, they surge forward, jaws snapping shut with bone-crushing force. The attack is swift and brutal. Crocodiles seize their prey, dragging it beneath the surface in a violent struggle. For the wildebeest, survival means fighting against both the current and the predator's grip, a desperate battle for life. Not all predators rely on the hunt. Scavengers, too, play a crucial role in this ecosystem. Hyenas, with their powerful jaws and keen sense of smell, follow the migration, ever alert for the opportunity to claim a meal. Hyenas are bold and resourceful. They will challenge even lions for a fresh kill, using teamwork and persistence to wear down their rivals. Their bone-crushing bite allows them to consume what others leave behind, ensuring nothing is wasted. Above, vultures ride the thermals, their sharp eyes scanning the plains for any sign of a carcass. They are the first to arrive, often before the scent of death has even settled. Descending in flocks, vultures strip a carcass clean in minutes, their efficiency unmatched. They are the ultimate recyclers, turning death into sustenance and keeping the savannah free of disease. Jackals, too, seize their chance, darting in to snatch morsels from under the noses of larger scavengers. Every fallen animal, whether lost to a predator, exhaustion, or the river, sustains a host of other lives. In this intricate web of life, nothing is wasted. The cycle of predator and prey, hunter and scavenger, ensures the savannah remains in balance, a testament to the relentless struggle for survival that defines the wild heart of Africa. Embarking on a safari during the Great Migration is to step into the heart of untamed Africa, where every moment is charged with anticipation and awe. The landscape itself is a living canvas, endless golden grasslands dotted with acacia trees, the horizon shimmering in the early light and the air alive with the calls of distant animals. The adventure begins before sunrise. as the first rays of light break through the mist, painting the savanna in hues of gold and pink. The cool air is filled with the earthy scent of dew and the distant rumble of hooves. Game drives set out at dawn when the plains are most alive. The thrill of the chase is palpable as the vehicle moves quietly through the grass, every sense alert for the flick of a tail or the glint of an eye in the undergrowth. Predators, still energized from a night of hunting, move stealthily through the shadows. Wildebeests and zebras graze in tight groups, ever watchful, their movements a delicate balance between caution and necessity. Bouncing along rugged tracks in an open-sided 4x4, the excitement builds with every sighting. Binoculars sweep the horizon, searching for the subtle signs, a dust cloud, a sudden movement, that reveal the presence of the great herds or a stalking predator. Accommodations are designed to immerse you in the wild, with tented camps set up in prime locations, often just steps from the migration routes. Many travelers opt for mobile camps that move with the herds, ensuring you are always at the center of the action, surrounded by the sights and sounds of the migration. These are not ordinary tents. They are spacious canvas suites, complete with comfortable beds and private bathrooms, offering a blend of rustic adventure and unexpected comfort. With no fences to separate you from the wilderness, the connection to nature is immediate and profound. Wildlife often wanders close to camp, providing unforgettable encounters right outside your tent. At night, the distant roar of a lion echoes across the plains, and at dawn, you might find a giraffe grazing quietly just meters away, a reminder that you are a guest in their world. For those seeking a new perspective, a hot air balloon ride at sunrise offers a breathtaking vantage point over the awakening plains. As the balloon lifts gently into the sky, the world below comes alive. The herds begin to move. Predators slink through the grass, and the vastness of the landscape unfolds in every direction. From above, the migration is a living river of animals, flowing across the plains in numbers that defy belief. The patterns and paths of the herds become clear, revealing the scale and coordination of this ancient journey. The herds form intricate patterns, moving in coordinated lines and clusters, their paths etched into the earth by generations of instinct and survival. Drifting silently above it all, a sense of tranquility and wonder settles in, as you witness the raw beauty and drama of the wild from a perspective few ever experience. The safari is brought to life by the expertise of local guides whose deep knowledge of the land and its inhabitants transforms each outing into a masterclass in wildlife observation. These guides possess an uncanny ability to read the landscape, identifying animal tracks, interpreting alarm calls, and predicting the movements of both predator and prey. With a practiced eye, a guide can spot a leopard camouflaged in the branches of an acacia, or notice the subtle shift in a herd that signals the approach of danger. Their stories and insights turn each sighting into a lesson in survival and adaptation, deepening your appreciation for the intricate web of life that sustains this extraordinary ecosystem. The thrill of the chase, the beauty of the landscape, and the privilege of witnessing nature's greatest spectacle combine to create a safari experience that is truly unforgettable. The vast plains of the Serengeti and Masai Mara are not only a sanctuary for wildlife, but also the ancestral homeland of the Masai people, a semi-nomadic tribe whose culture is as enduring as the land itself. For countless generations, the Masai have lived in close harmony with the wildlife, their daily lives and traditions deeply interwoven with the rhythms of the seasons and the epic migrations of animals across these lands. A visit to a traditional Masai village, or enkang, reveals a way of life that has remained remarkably resilient, even as the world around them changes. The Maasai's customs and social structures have been shaped by the challenges and opportunities of living alongside some of Africa's most iconic wildlife. Their connection to the land is both practical and spiritual. The Maasai believe that their ancestors entrusted them with the stewardship of these plains, and this responsibility is reflected in every aspect of their lives. Community and kinship are the foundation of Maasai society. Elders hold a revered place, guiding the younger generations and ensuring that traditions are upheld. The Maasai are traditionally polygamous, and a man's wealth and status are measured by the number of cattle and children he has. Cattle are not only a source of food, but also a symbol of prosperity and a vital part of social and spiritual life. The construction of homes, known as inkajijik, is a communal effort among the men, using a blend of mud, sticks, cow dung, and urine. These practical structures are designed to withstand the elements and provide shelter for families and livestock alike. The use of cow dung in the construction not only insulates the huts, keeping them cool in the heat, but also helps to repel insects, a vital adaptation for life on the savanna. Masai men as warriors and protectors are responsible for building and maintaining the protective fence of thorn bushes that encircles the village. This barrier is essential for safeguarding both the community and their precious cattle from predators that follow the Great Migration. Rituals and ceremonies are woven into the fabric of Maasai life. From rites of passage to daily practices, these traditions reinforce social bonds and the Maasai's deep connection to their environment. The Maasai diet is centered around cattle, with milk, meat, and cow's blood forming the staples. Drinking blood, especially during ceremonies or after long cattle drives, is believed to provide strength and vitality to the warriors. Cattle are at the heart of Maasai culture. They are a source of food, wealth, and social status, and their well-being is closely tied to the cycles of migration, as the Maasai move their herds in search of fresh grazing alongside the wildebeest and zebra. Ingenious in their use of natural resources, the Maasai use the fibrous end of a stick from the toothbrush tree to clean their teeth, and dried elephant dung to start fires. Skills passed down through generations, essential for survival in this environment. Elders play a crucial role in teaching the next generation, passing on knowledge about the land, livestock, and the customs that define Maasai identity. These lessons are often shared beneath the shade of an acacia tree, with the migration unfolding in the distance. As the world changes, many Maasai children now attend school, learning new skills, while remaining deeply rooted in their heritage. The balance between tradition and modernity is carefully maintained, ensuring that Maasai culture endures. Educated young men often return to their villages, bringing with them new knowledge and perspectives, yet choosing to live according to the customs of their ancestors. This blending of old and new strengthens the community and preserves its unique identity. The adumu, or jumping dance, is a powerful display of Maasai strength and unity. Warriors leap high into the air, demonstrating their vitality and attracting respect within the community. This dance, often performed during important ceremonies, is a living tradition that connects the Maasai to their past and to each other. The Maasai are the true guardians of these lands. Their enduring presence, wisdom, and traditions are inseparable from the story of the Great Migration and remain a vital part of what makes this region so extraordinary. The Great Migration is not merely a spectacle, it's a living testament to the power and resilience of the natural world, rightfully celebrated as one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Stretching across the endless plains, this migration is a force that shapes the very heart of Africa, sculpting the land and sustaining countless forms of life. The relentless grazing of the herds trims the grasses, encouraging new growth and maintaining the delicate balance of the ecosystem. As they move, their hooves churn the earth, and their droppings fertilize the soil, breathing new life into the land and ensuring its fertility for generations to come. The migration is a catalyst for drama and survival. Predators follow the herds, and the perilous river crossings test the courage and strength of every animal, reinforcing the cycle of life and death that keeps the Serengeti Mara ecosystem thriving. This is a self-sustaining cycle, a grand choreography of birth, struggle, and renewal, unfolding on a scale that defies imagination. For millennia, this natural symphony has played out, a timeless opera of movement and survival, echoing through the ages. To witness the migration is to stand in awe of nature's grandeur, to feel humbled by the sheer scale and complexity of life in motion. It is a connection to the ancient rhythms of the earth, a reminder of a world that existed long before us and with our stewardship will endure long after we are gone. Standing on the plains as an unbroken river of wildebeest surges past, you are confronted by the raw, unyielding force of life itself. Each determined face, each powerful stride speaks of endurance, unity, and the will to survive against all odds. The air vibrates with the thunder of hooves, the calls of animals, and the scent of wild grasses, a sensory tapestry that leaves an indelible mark on the soul. This migration is a profound reminder of our place within the web of life and of our responsibility to protect these wild spaces for future generations. The journey of the herds is a living metaphor for the challenges and triumphs that define existence itself. It is a saga of bravery in the face of relentless danger, of perseverance through hardship and uncertainty, and of the unstoppable drive to create and nurture new life, even in the harshest conditions. Each year, 500,000 calves are born on the southern plains, a renewal that ensures the future of the herds. The Mara River crossing is a moment of high drama, a desperate gamble, where survival hangs in the balance. Every hoofprint, every chase, every narrow escape is a chapter in an epic story written across the African earth. This drama unfolds without script or rehearsal, guided only by the ancient instincts that have shaped these animals for millennia. In a world where untouched wilderness is vanishing at an alarming rate, the Great Migration stands as a defiant, awe-inspiring testament to the wildness that still endures. It is a symbol of freedom, of the intricate and beautiful balance that sustains all life. The future of this extraordinary phenomenon depends on our commitment to conservation, to safeguarding the habitats that make it possible. We must ensure that the ancient migratory paths remain open, transcending borders and barriers, so that this timeless journey can continue. To witness the Great Migration is to understand, in the deepest sense, why the preservation of our planet's natural wonders is among the greatest responsibilities we share. At the heart of the Great Migration lies a singular, undeniable truth. Water is life. The rivers and water sources that thread through the Serengeti and Masai Mara are more than mere landmarks. They are the very lifelines that shape the paths of millions of migrating animals each year. As the dry season tightens its grip on the plains, the herds are drawn inexorably toward these vital arteries, their movements dictated by the promise of hydration and the survival of the next generation. Around these water sources, the drama of the migration reaches its peak. Herds gather in dense concentrations along the riverbanks, their thirst driving them to the edge of peril. Here, animal behavior is marked by a mix of caution and urgency. Wildebeests, zebras and gazelles approach the water with heads low and senses heightened, scanning for lurking predators below the surface. Crocodiles, masters of patience and camouflage, lie in wait, knowing that desperation will eventually force the bravest or most vulnerable into the water. The act of crossing a river is both a necessity and a gamble. Some animals wait for hours, even days, as leaders hesitate at the banks, testing the currents and searching for the safest point to cross. When one finally dares, a surge of bodies follows, churning the water into a frenzy. Each animal striving to keep pace with the herd while avoiding the jaws that lurk beneath. Water sources are also sites of uneasy alliances and fleeting truces. Predators and prey share the banks, united in their need for water, if only for a moment. Elephants dig into dry riverbeds to uncover hidden reserves, providing water for themselves and inadvertently for other species that follow in their wake. Survival strategies abound. Some herds travel at night to avoid the peak heat and the attention of predators. Others spread out, reducing competition and risk. The timing and route of every movement are shaped by the unpredictable rise and fall of rivers, the location of watering holes, and the shifting patterns of rainfall. In this relentless quest for water, every choice carries weight. The rivers are not simply obstacles, but dynamic forces that test, shape, and sustain the migrating herds. Their presence carves the very map of survival, reminding us that in the wild every drop counts and every journey is a testament to resilience and adaptation. For the youngest members of the migration, each step across the savannah is a lesson written in instinct and experience. Calves and foals, just weeks or even days old, must keep pace with the relentless march of the herd. Their journey is more than a test of endurance. It's a crash course in survival, adaptation and learning in real time. From their first uncertain steps, young wildebeest and zebras face a world brimming with hazards. The open plains offer little shelter, and the tiniest stumble can mean falling behind, a risk that may prove fatal. Guided by their mothers and the collective wisdom of the herd, these youngsters quickly learn to recognize the warning signals, the sharp snort of alarm, the sudden stampede, the subtle shift in direction that means danger is near. Crossing rivers presents a unique set of trials. The powerful currents, hidden rocks, and lurking predators are obstacles that demand both courage and caution. Many young animals hesitate at the water's edge, watching their elders for cues. Some falter, swept downstream or separated from the group, while others push through, learning with every crossing how to read the flow and navigate the chaos. Predators are an ever-present threat, and the young must master the art of blending into the herd. Their survival often depends on their ability to move in unison, to lose themselves in the swirling mass of bodies when danger approaches. The journey teaches them the value of vigilance and the necessity of trust in numbers. But the migration is not only a story of struggle, it is one of remarkable resilience. Each day the young grow stronger, their muscles and instincts sharpening with every challenge. They learn to graze on the move, to conserve energy during the hottest hours, and to follow the subtle cues that lead to water and safety. For those that make it, the migration becomes a rite of passage. The lessons learned along the way are etched into memory, preparing them for the migrations to come. In the end, every calf and foal that survives its first journey is not just a witness to the great migration, but a testament to the enduring spirit of life on the African plains. The Great Migration is a journey dictated not just by instinct, but by the ever-changing moods of the African climate. Each year, the rhythm of the herds is set by the arrival and departure of the rains. When the wet season begins, the plains of the Serengeti transform. Lush grass springs to life, rivers swell, and the air is heavy with promise. For the grazing herds, this is a time of abundance. Fresh shoots and water sources draw them across vast distances, nourishing both body and spirit. But as the rains fade and the dry season tightens its grip, the landscape changes once again. Grasslands turn brittle and brown, waterholes shrink, and dust clouds rise with every hoofbeat. The herds must keep moving, driven by the search for greener pastures and life-sustaining water. Droughts can make this journey even more perilous, thinning the ranks as food becomes scarce and the weakest fall behind. Seasonal changes don't just affect the availability of food and water, they also influence the timing, size, and route of the migration. A late rain or an early drought can scatter the herds, forcing them to adapt quickly or risk starvation. River crossings become more treacherous when currents swell after a storm, but can also offer rare moments of relief when fresh water is found. The weather is both a guide and a challenge. It tests the resilience of every animal, from the youngest calf to the oldest bull. The migration is a living testament to the power of nature's cycles, a delicate balance where survival depends on reading the signs of the sky and following the promise of rain. In this ever-changing world, the herds move forward, shaped by the seasons and sustained by hope for what lies ahead. As millions of hooves thunder across the Serengeti, a quieter yet equally vital drama unfolds above and around the migrating herds. Birds, both resident and migratory, play an essential role in the ecosystem of the Great Migration. Storks, vultures, and eagles soar overhead, their keen eyes scanning the plains for opportunities that arise in the wake of the herds. For scavengers like the white-backed vulture, the migration is a time of plenty. They descend upon carcasses left behind by predators, ensuring that no energy is wasted and helping to keep the savanna clean. In the wetlands and along riverbanks, flocks of wading birds, such as herons and crowned cranes, follow the herds, feasting on insects and small creatures stirred up by the movement of thousands of feet. These birds help control pest populations, benefiting both the animals and the grasslands themselves. Smaller species, like oxpeckers, form close partnerships with the migrating mammals. Perched atop buffalo, wildebeest, and zebra, they pick off ticks and parasites, offering relief to their massive hosts while gaining a steady meal in return. This mutual relationship is a subtle but crucial thread in the fabric of the migration's health. And it's not just birds. Reptiles, amphibians, and even insects find their rhythms intertwined with the great movement. Dung beetles, for instance, rely on the vast quantities of manure left behind, recycling nutrients back into the soil and supporting the next cycle of plant growth. Together, these non-mammalian species form a living network that sustains the migration from above and below. They are the silent custodians and unsung heroes, maintaining balance and enriching the tapestry of life that makes the Great Migration one of nature's most intricate marvels. Beneath the spectacle of stampeding herds and soaring birds lies a world fraught with hidden dangers for every animal that embarks on the journey. The migration is a test of endurance against not only predators, but also the invisible threats that stalk the savannah. Disease is a constant shadow. As thousands of animals gather in close quarters, illnesses can spread rapidly. Waterborne pathogens lurk in muddy rivers, waiting for a thirsty herd to drink. Parasites, like ticks and biting flies, sap the strength of their hosts, sometimes carrying deadly infections. Only the strongest and luckiest survive these microscopic adversaries. Injuries are just as common. A single misstep on rocky terrain can mean a broken leg, turning a healthy wildebeest into easy prey. Calves and weaker animals are especially vulnerable, often succumbing to exhaustion or being trampled in the chaos of a river crossing. Natural obstacles add to the peril. Deep mud, hidden sinkholes, and sudden storms can scatter the herds and separate mothers from their young. Every journey across the Mara River is a gamble, not just against crocodiles, but against powerful currents and slippery banks. Yet the animals have evolved remarkable strategies to cope. Some, like zebras, travel at the edges of the herds to avoid the crush. Others, such as antelope, form tight groups for protection. Many species rely on memory and ancient instincts to guide them along the safest routes, while the youngest learn quickly from the vigilance of their elders. For every triumphant arrival, there are countless stories of survival against the odds. The Great Migration is a story not only of movement but of resilience, a testament to life's determination to overcome even the most daunting challenges. As the dust settles and the last of the herds cross the Mara River, the landscape begins its quiet transformation. The aftermath of the Great Migration is a period of recovery and renewal, both for the land and its inhabitants. The once trampled grasslands, left barren by the millions of hooves, start to heal. Rainfall rejuvenates the soil, bringing forth a fresh carpet of green. The grasses grow tall and lush, providing nourishment for the resident herbivores who stayed behind, and for the weary travelers who will soon return. The rivers and waterholes, once churned and muddied by the crossing, clear up to reveal their sparkling depths. Aquatic life, disrupted by the throngs of migrating animals, resumes its normal rhythm. Fish and amphibians thrive, their populations bolstered by the nutrient-rich sediments stirred up during the migration. For the predators, the end of the migration marks a time of abundance. The weak and injured animals left behind become easy prey, ensuring that the predators and scavengers have enough food to sustain them through the coming months. Lions, hyenas, and vultures feast, their populations thriving in this period of plenty. The resident herbivores, such as impalas and gazelles, also benefit from the renewed landscape. With the competition from the migrating herds gone, they can graze freely and raise their young in relative peace. The cycle of birth and growth continues as new generations are born and nurtured in these fertile plains. Birds, too, play a vital role in this cycle of renewal. As they soar above the savannah, they spread seeds and pollinate plants, contributing to the regrowth of vegetation. Their songs fill the air, a chorus of life and rebirth after the chaos of the migration. The Great Migration may be over for now, but the preparations for the next cycle have already begun. The animals, guided by ancient instincts and learned behaviors, start to ready themselves for the journey ahead. The young learn from the old, gaining the skills and knowledge they will need to survive the next migration, and so the cycle continues. The land recovers, the animals regroup, and life prepares for another grand journey. The aftermath of the migration is not an end, but a beginning, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of nature. In this timeless dance of life, every ending is but a prelude to a new chapter. The Great Migration is more than just a journey. It is a cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It is a reminder of the enduring power of nature and the endless capacity for renewal and growth.